The Shooting Range. Hello, friends. It's been almost 8 years since the first ever episode of The Shooting Range aired. Whoa, that's a lot of time. Our show has been regularly updated, and today we'd like to announce another major change. Starting next week, we're splitting it into several videos airing Saturday through Monday. It's the same shooting range with all your favorite sections, only divided into multiple videos for your comfort. It's also more convenient if you want to refresh your memory. Our first video with the new format premieres next Saturday, November 2nd. Right now, though, get ready to see, in this episode, Pages of History, Scout Loach, Arsenal, Best Loadouts for the Mirage F1, and Metal Beasts, German Technology Demonstrator. The mobile sniper event is over, which means it's time to try out its main reward. Please welcome the Boxer MGS, a wheeled tank built on the base of a combat vehicle that served as a technology and upgrade potential demonstrator. The front of the hull houses an engine with 720 horsepower. Quite a lot for a wheeler, but with a mass of 38 tons, the Boxer is also one of the heaviest machines in its class. The large mass impedes the acceleration dynamics, so the only way it can achieve its top speed of 103 kilometers an hour is by driving long, flat roads with a firm surface. You can gain a mobility advantage in combat if you go long range, like during flanking attacks. The most exciting part of this vehicle is inside its combat module. This wheeler is armed with a two-plane stabilized 105mm cannon that can shoot the DM-63, discarding sabot shells with a penetration rate of almost 430mm. It's one of the most powerful shells of this caliber, so don't expect any trouble damaging opponents, even at long range. The ammo stowage is found in the rear of the hull and the turret. The autoloader holds 12 shells and provides a pretty decent rate of fire. The Boxer can even engage multiple enemies at once, while the first stage holds shells, but once it's empty, you need to find a safe place to refill it. Finding that safe place might be tricky though. Most positions where classic tanks feel safe aren't suitable for this vehicle because of its size. And if the Boxer is threatened, it's hard for it to either hide or hold its ground. The best its armor can do is protect the vehicle from autocannon fire, while larger calibers can render it inoperable in next to no time. With all this in mind, we can say there's only one viable tactic: long-range attacks. Thermal vision devices allow you to find enemy vehicles faster. The laser rangefinder helps you take the right lead. A Recon drone is a great tool for scouting the battlefield, and smoke launchers will do their best at hiding this thick boy from hostile eyes. Bell created the Kiowa during the peak of helicopter development. It's a compact machine that resembles civilian helis and neither carries fearsome weapons nor holds any speed records. Still, it was the Kiowa that served the American Recon units in conflicts all around the world, from Vietnam to Afghanistan. The late 1950s saw the discovery of major potential in helicopters. The US Army had a few outdated models that it wanted to replace with something versatile and lightweight, something that could scout, do surveillance, and transport wounded soldiers and cargo. They launched a program called Light Observation Helicopter and received multiple applications, including one from Bell. Bell designers proposed a helicopter with two bladed main and tail rotors, a four-seat crew compartment, and a turboshaft engine, which was basically a vanilla chopper, nothing extraordinary. The military officials didn't like the modest payload capacity of the prototype, so the contract was awarded to their competitor, Hughes. Bell didn't scrap their idea though, instead repurposing their heli for the non-military markets and giving it a new cargo hold. As it soon turned out, Hughes had no capacity to produce their OH-6 in the required numbers, which meant a new chance for the Bell design. That's how the Scout OH-58 helicopter first found its way into the skies over Vietnam. And while it got there almost by accident, this helicopter soon became part of the US Army's backbone. It was inferior to the Cobra or the Iroquois in some regards, but it could do pretty much anything. Where it truly shined was reconnaissance. In addition to that, the Kiowa proved to be a highly cost-effective aircraft. It was cheaper to operate and maintain than any other helicopter of its class. And if that's not enough, the Kiowa also came with a huge upgrade potential in the form of new avionics. One of the major modernization programs took place in the 1980s, almost 2 decades after its maiden flight. The Kiowa received a mast-mounted sight system with thermals, a laser target designator, and modern electronics, all of which fit snugly into a metal ball over the main rotor. The upgraded heli proved its worth during Operation Desert Storm, helping the military capture an Iraqi oil platform and suppressing coast defenses in preparation for an assault landing. Bell struck gold with their Model 206. More than 7,000 helicopters were sold to civilian customers alone, spreading all over the world. The military Kiowa also gained wide fame abroad, with more than 2,000 of them joining the service of more than a dozen nations. The work on the heli never stopped. The OH-58 was used pretty recently, in the early 2010s, for patrol missions in Afghanistan. Bell even developed a radical improvement of the heli that could see its performance meet 21st century standards. But progress, as it often happens, made a sudden turn. The era of piloted recon aircraft is almost over. The role of the all-seeing eye in the sky is now filled with cheap and simple drones. Following your requests in the comments, today we are going to talk about the best suspended armament for the French family of Mirage F1 fighters. Let's start with air combat loadouts. All versions of this aircraft can carry both infrared-guided and radar-homing missiles. The wingtips should be filled with the close-range Magic II AAMs. Despite their short range, they're the best weapon for the Mirages, thanks to their excellent maneuverability and jamming resistance. The internal wing hardpoints can be filled with weapons of multiple types. Gun pods are a great way to increase your 1-second burst and total available ammo, which helps with energy and frontal attacks. Another option is the Matras Super 530F radar homing missiles. They offer good performance, but the aircraft's radar doesn't always lock onto targets successfully. What's left now is the central hardpoint underneath the fuselage. On modifications C and C200, you can fill it with an extra medium-range Matra R530 missile. All its early variants have modest efficiency, so we recommend that you go for the infrared-guided one due to its simplicity. Any of the 3 modifications of the Mirage F1 can also carry drop tanks, but we don't think you really need them. The internal tanks should last pretty much any battle. Now, to ground attacks. All Mirages can use rockets and conventional bombs of various calibers between 250 kilograms and 2,000 pounds. The hardest part about composing a loadout is staying within the payload limit. We suggest you make multiple combinations for the Mirage F1C and the C200. One should have 2 AAMs on the wingtips, 4 1,000-pound bombs on the wings, and 1 2,000-pound bomb in the center. The second loadout is more versatile, 4 air-to-air missiles and 3 bombs. There's much more variety in CAS loadouts available on the latest version of the fighter, the F1CT. Its internal hardpoints have mounts for 2 and even 4 bombs at once, but we don't think it's wise to chase the highest number of drops over caliber. The best loadouts here are similar to other modifications. The only exception is the central hardpoint. You can have 4 400-kilogram bombs there or 2 2,000-pound ones. As always, we're looking forward to your suggestions for the next arsenal. Meanwhile, we'll answer some of the questions you asked us in previous episodes. The first question was sent by a player called Around the World. Please make a Metal Beasts on the F4 ICE. Hi, Around the World. Thanks for the idea. We'll talk about it in one of the future episodes. Harris Pillar asks, any tips for the M4A3 105? I'm using it at 5.0. Hey Harris, it's not the best pick for 5.0, so our first tip is to go lower with this tank. It's pretty simple to use at its level. A powerful gun to destroy most enemies with the first hit, and reliable armor to take a punch. Just remember about the long reload and don't let enemies surround you in close quarters combat. Another question comes from Mystère on ne sait pas trop. What's the use of the little fan on the F111A gun pods? Hi, Mystère. This little turbine is connected to a generator that provides the gun pod with energy. Aton BY writes, how do you turn off the engine in the tank? Hello, Aton. You can do that with a key assigned to turn engine on/off, or by using the multifunctional menu, mobility section. And the last comment for today was written by Tom Bernhardt. Is it possible to destroy a tank with a torpedo dropped from a plane? Hi, Tom. Yes, our game allows that. You can destroy a floating tank right in the water, or any vehicle on the coast if it's close enough to water. That's it for today. You've been watching The Shooting Range by Gaijin Entertainment. See you next Saturday on the 2nd of November at 4 p.m. GMT or noon Eastern Time. Subscribe and click the bell if you don't want to miss our next videos. Leave a like and share your impressions in the comments.